Running Jog Vlog.
The most underrated game of the previous console generation, I am on record as saying, is Mirror's Edge. The first-person platforming game. Parkour. You know, you're on the run, you're being chased. Time trials. The game even has achievements for speed running the entire game. Being one of my favorite titles, I was looking forward to Mirror's Edge Catalyst. I start finding out, hey, it's going to be a kind of a reboot retcon situation. You know, I'm a little disturbed by that. Then it gets pushed back some more. Trailer at E3, and you're like, okay, well, when the hell's the game coming out? Almost at the time of the next E3. For a $60 game that runs about 16 gigabytes, you know, you got a little bit of a situation when you realize the installation time is going by a little quick. And hell, when you open up the box and all you have is an advertisement for another game. Way to go, EA. So from EA and their division DICE, Mirror's Edge Catalyst puts us back in the shoes of Faith. Only now she's younger, just got out of juvie. She's in the city Glass, where there's a pretty interesting backstory, really. You have this conglomerate, controls everybody. You have your choice of which company you're going to be working for. They call these people the employees. Not employees, but the employees. And on top of that, she's being referred to as a leech because she doesn't have a job. So yeah, not having a job gets you jail time. It's a pretty cool angle, actually. Her sister was a cop in the previous game. That's been taken away from us. And not to ruin too much about the story, but there is, you know, of course, the evil corporation has this virus reflection they're putting in everybody, going to control their emotions, try to get them to buy more stuff. And you have to try to stop them, of course. And then there's the bit where she has this tattoo they call the blueprint, this art piece her parents made when she was a kid. If you're gonna put that in the trailer, how come that's like the very last shot in the game? Yeah, so you return to the Shard, the biggest tower there. You know, you stop the virus, you have cutscenes you can't play, and then after the 20-minute long closing credits, you have your little kiss goodbye, and now you can continue your open world. That's right, guys. The original Mirror's Edge. Shame on you for only having 10 hours of gameplay. Well, you guys who complained got exactly what you wanted. Open world banality. Yes, you are free to explore Glass. Is there anything to do other than item hunts? Nope. You got a bunch of weird people standing on rooftops for no goddamn reason, telling you to fetch this. Orbs sitting around. Hell, I touched so many damn orbs, thought I was playing Mega Man. The missions themselves don't offer any challenge until the end of the game, because before that, you are given too much leeway with the guys chasing you down. First of all, they can't do shit. They're not as good as the guys in the last game. Hell, just fighting the guys in the previous game, you get shot and you die. These guys, no guns, they don't have any parkour skills. They are no match for Faith. Gameplay mechanics are a little bit different this time around, slightly dumbed down, at least initially. After a few missions, you unlock all the abilities Faith used to have. She also has the use of some gadgets now to help her get to new heights. But for the most part, you got a little bit more fight in you. You can't disarm guys, and you can't use their weapons. I like how they say it's like DNA coded so she couldn't use them if she wanted to. But you either hard kick or light kick people. That's pretty much your options here. The tougher guards are immune to the light stuff, so just stick with the hard kicks all the time. It doesn't take any real skill to take them down. And for the most part, you can just blitz right past them. Then you have these situations where you need to get across the city to go to the next mission. You're better off just taking the shortcuts, you know, instant travel. If you can't do that, you're gonna be a little bored because the city is not really constructed for traversing. Yeah, you can reach everywhere, but it's not a lot of fun. Mirror's Edge Catalyst actually looks worse than the 2008 title. I say this because note a few things. Bust through a door in the original game, there's this jarring effect. You got this kinetic motion about her. You know, you feel like you're running for your life. Not so here. No, now it's just a casual little kaboom, and then you're through. It's not nearly as immersive, and the level design is not nearly as strong. Even the look of it, Everything is so pristine, white and glass, with no smudges, no dirt. It doesn't even look like a realistic environment. Looks like you're trapped inside a computer simulation, like you're doing VR missions. At least in the original game, you came across grimy sections, and I felt like it looked more realistic. In this title, you've got no one to run against you. Yeah, there are little chases sprinkled about in the original game. You had to run after somebody, get some information. Why couldn't they have been that creative again? Now, you even get on a train for a little bit, only to have a cutscene immediately play. So the train action from the original is only hinted at. I feel like most of the mechanics here are dumbed down so that everybody can play. The original game didn't sell as many copies as EA wanted it to. So how do you rectify that? Make it so that nobody's alienated. Hell, if it's easy to get into, people will buy this shit, right? That's what keeps GTA in business. That's why everyone's buying Call of Duty. That's why everybody's buying Madden. Because nobody can't play it. So you have an esoteric game with mechanics that are simple but take a lifetime to master. And you dumb it down, alienating the few fans you had originally. This makes for a game that is far more boring than it ever needed to be. Mirror's Edge should have been about the chase. You should have been running towards guys or having guys chase you. More timed activities. Hell, there's not even speed runs in this. You know, I felt that the story was a little tiny bit better than it was last time. I do kind of miss the simple flash animations of the previous title. And I don't feel like it was necessary to retcon everything. But you know, you're serving up this world here that has a pretty interesting aesthetic to it, that has interesting economy and how the laws work, but you really don't get any real feel for it. The characters are bland. There's some kind of robot that's supposed to be comedic relief. You got this hacker Plastic, whose voice I cannot hear on the game speakers. Like, you're supposed to be free running and shit, getting information from these people, and you have to actually read out the subtitles to understand what anybody's saying. That is, if you even think the story's worth listening to. Because realistically, you're not making any real choices here. You're just doing the mission. Go get this. Fetch me that. You only have a little window of time to get over here. You know, sadly, I think Mirror's Edge Catalyst will be the last entry in the Mirror's Edge series. I didn't want to look up any reviews of this before doing my review that I'm doing right now, but I'm about certain everybody's down on it. Hell, the original Mirror's Edge was getting like 8s. You know, I think it was in the 9 territory, honestly. This title, man, pains me to say this, but I give Mirror's Edge Catalyst a 7.0 out of 10.
Like, comment, share, follow, subscribe. Vaughan Jog Vlog is made possible by your support on Patreon. Patreon.com/Vaughan Fry. Because fuck Google.